fake tears at Bondi Beach, using a terrorist atrocity to sell her shitty clothing.
April 17th, 2026. The final day of Harry and Meghan's 4-day Australia tour. What was supposed to be a triumphant farewell turned into one of the most disastrous 24 hours of their post-royal career. 5 separate scandals, one single day, and the internet has not stopped talking about any of them. From a sunbather who refused to acknowledge their existence, to accusations of turning a massacre site into an online shopping mall, to a viral video that had body language experts questioning everything, to an iconic landmark that appeared eerily empty, to one of Australia's most beloved families reportedly refusing to meet them.
Let's talk about the damage. I mean, look, from where I sit, what you have is an extraordinary situation where 2 people who have caused intense damage to the reputation of the royal family and the institution of the monarchy are now running a kind of renegade, rival royal family, engaging in rival tours and going to places like Australia, and that can only be ultimately more damaging for the actual royal family.
This is the story of how Bondi Beach became the symbol of everything critics say is wrong with Harry and Meghan's new life. If you want to understand what really happened and why this matters, make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell, because this breakdown reveals details most people completely missed.
Obviously, what was a traumatic event for Australians, and then to commercialize her appearance at Bondi Beach. Now, by all accounts, they were moved by the survivors that they met on that day, but to suddenly see a picture of her walking on to that appearance and then monetizing it.
Let me take you through every single scandal, hour by hour. It started with what should have been the most meaningful moment of their entire trip. On December 14th, 2025, tragedy struck Bondi Beach. During a Hanukkah celebration, 2 armed men opened fire on a crowd of more than 1,000 families gathered at Archer Park. 15 people were killed. 45 more were severely injured and hospitalized. 4 months later, Harry and Meghan arrived to pay their respects. They met privately with survivors. They visited the Bondi Surf Bathers Life-Saving Club to thank volunteer lifeguards and emergency workers. They viewed artifacts and tributes alongside representatives from the Sydney Jewish Museum. Among the survivors they met was Jessica Chapnick Khan, a mother who protected her 5-year-old daughter during the attack. She later described the encounter as an honor. By all accounts, this should have been the highlight of their tour, a genuine moment of connection and compassion. But here is where scandal number 1 begins. Within hours of hugging survivors and hearing their harrowing stories, every single item Meghan was wearing appeared for sale on an AI-powered fashion platform called OneOff. Her $440 blue and white striped Mateau shirt, her $139 white sailor jeans, her $298 Frida Salvador trainers, her $198 Brochu Walker sunglasses, her $950 brown suede bag. Total cost of the outfit? Approximately $2,000. And here is the detail that made people furious. Meghan is not just featured on OneOff. She is an investor in the platform. And according to reports, she receives between 10 and 25% commission on every sale generated through her profile. The image used to promote the outfit? Harry and Meghan walking alongside surf lifesavers at the very beach where 15 people were murdered just months earlier. Royal expert Richard Palmer did not hold back. He called it the starkest example yet of Harry and Meghan's efforts to commercialize their royal brand. Tom Sykes, writing in his Substack newsletter, went even further. His exact words, "Selling the clothes off her own back at the site of a massacre where 15 people died might come easily to Meghan, but like any right-minded person, I find this sickening." Social media erupted. One user wrote, "No longer content to be merely a tragedy tourist, Markle uploads photos of her comforting survivors of the Bondi Beach massacre to OneOff, where she merches her clothes. This is not mere bad taste. It is pathology. Another said, Harry and Meghan Markle met the Bondi Beach survivors to sell clothes. It is grotesque. And then came the quiet deletion. Within days of the backlash, the original OneOff page featuring Meghan's Bondi outfit was removed. The contentious image of Harry and Meghan with surf lifesavers? Gone. Replaced with a different photo of Meghan waving as she exited her Range Rover earlier that day. No announcement, no explanation. Just a silent removal that many interpreted as an admission that they had crossed a line. But here is where it gets even more uncomfortable.
Gross. It was absolutely a case of this.
Now make yourself cry. Yeah. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, one tear, left eye, go.
Yeah.
Give me 3 seconds.
The fake tears made me ill.
Scandal number 2 involves a viral video that had body language experts questioning Meghan's entire demeanor during the survivor meeting. In the clip, Meghan is speaking with one of the survivors. The woman, believed to be Jessica Chapnick Khan, is describing the trauma her daughter still carries from the attack. She says her daughter does not want to talk about it. As she speaks, Meghan stands there with what critics described as rapid blinking, a blank expression, and what appeared to be forced interest. An Instagram account dedicated to analyzing body language posted the clip with commentary suggesting Meghan appeared uninterested and disconnected from the emotional weight of what she was hearing. The comments were brutal. One user wrote, "I got so uncomfortable watching this. It is cringy." Another said, "Such a strange response." A third observed, "She rehearsed the face in the mirror before she left and got confused and could not remember what she was supposed to feel in reality." Others questioned her acting abilities, with one commenter asking, "How did she get hired in Hollywood with her limited acting prowess?" Meghan's supporters pushed back, with one writing, "What is sick is you criticizing someone who showed up for the survivors." But the video had already gone viral, and combined with the outfit sale controversy, it created a narrative that was difficult to shake.
They spend all their time railing about children not being on the internet and not being out for public consumption. All right, maybe some of the children's parents said okay. One child, we know the parents did. There were other children whose parents didn't look like they were standing behind the child, so we don't even know if they were there. But you definitely do not put people with mental health issues on air or on the internet.
Now let me tell you about scandal number 3. This one is almost comedic, and it might be the most symbolic moment of the entire tour. After meeting with survivors and paying respects, Harry and Meghan walked onto Bondi Beach itself. They were surrounded by photographers, security personnel, lifeguards, and curious onlookers. Cameras flashing, crowds forming, the full spectacle of a quasi-royal appearance. And right there in the middle of the sand, lying on her towel, reading a book, was a woman who could not have cared less. As the entire entourage approached, she did not look up. She did not move. She did not acknowledge the commotion in any way whatsoever. Harry, Meghan, their security team, and the crowd of followers were forced to walk around her. She remained flat on her towel like they were completely invisible. Harry reportedly noticed and was seen laughing, pointing her out to others to make sure they did not accidentally step on her. The clip went instantly viral. The internet dubbed her the unbothered queen. One Reddit user wrote, "Bondi beachgoer gives zero fuss, refuses to move for crowds attending and filming Harry and Meghan, keeps reading her book." In 2026, a woman reading a book on the beach could not be bothered to look up. And that brings us to scandal number 4. After Bondi Beach, Harry and Meghan traveled to the Sydney Opera House for what was intended to be another public appearance. But something looked very different this time. Video footage posted online appeared to show the couple arriving at the iconic landmark and walking past barricades that were largely empty. The contrast to their 2018 visit was stark. One social media user posted a clip with the caption, "Australia rejects Prince Harry and Meghan Markle." The Sydney Opera House was empty. Comments flooded in, agreeing with the assessment. One person wrote, "Looks like ordinary tourists milling around. That is probably why they went there. They thought they could claim the crowd." Another claimed that those present were merely a tour group heading for a tour of the Opera House. Now, some have pushed back on this narrative. Defenders of the couple pointed out that different camera angles showed different crowd sizes, and that the barricaded area may have created a misleading impression. But the damage was done. The viral clip reinforced the perception that public interest in the Sussexes had dramatically declined since their departure from royal duties.
No idea they were coming to Australia.
Yes, I did read about it.
I wasn't aware that they were coming out to Australia at all. I haven't seen anything on the news.
Honestly, no. I did not really know they came last time as well.
I don't know why they're coming.
I think it's probably really nice for them to not have to do all the royal stuff. But yeah, I guess that also means that they're not as sort of relevant, I guess, here.
They're very much about self-promotion. They'd probably be my least favourite royals, let's put it that way.
And that leads us to scandal number 5. This one involves one of Australia's most beloved families. According to reports, Meghan had hoped to meet Robert Irwin and his family at Australia Zoo in Queensland during their trip. The Irwins, heirs to the legacy of the late Steve Irwin, are conservation royalty in Australia. But the meeting never happened. A source told New Idea magazine that aligning with the Irwins' worthy causes is something Meghan and Harry could be on board with. However, the invitation was reportedly declined. The reason? According to The Insider, the Irwins are staunch monarchists and fiercely loyal to the firm. The source added, "They meant no ill will towards the Sussexes, but at the end of the day, they are all staunch monarchists and fiercely loyal to the firm." It just was not possible. The timing of this revelation is significant. Robert Irwin serves as a global ambassador for Prince William's Earthshot Prize. He has developed what has been described as a wholesome friendship with Harry's brother. The two share a passion for conservation and have worked together on environmental initiatives. By declining to meet with Harry and Meghan, the Irwins were effectively choosing sides, and they chose William. Social media reaction was overwhelmingly supportive of the decision. One user wrote, "Young Robert has gone up in my estimation. He has principles. Good on him." Another added, "The stench of desperation exudes from them. Well done, the Irwin family. Brilliant." So let us step back and look at what happened in a single day. First, Meghan met with massacre survivors, and then immediately had her outfit posted for sale on a platform where she earns commission. Second, a viral video emerged showing what critics described as a strange and disconnected response during an emotional conversation with a survivor. Third, a sunbather on Bondi Beach became an internet sensation for refusing to acknowledge the couple's existence. Fourth, footage from the Sydney Opera House appeared to show a dramatically smaller crowd than their 2018 visit. Fifth, one of Australia's most famous families reportedly declined to meet with them out of loyalty to the royal family. And all of this happened against the backdrop of a Roy Morgan poll that found 81% of Australians said the visit did not improve their view of the couple. 87% said the trip would do nothing to repair Harry's relationship with King Charles. And 75% said Meghan did not present a more positive side during the visit. Those are not opinions. Those are numbers from one of Australia's most respected polling firms. The Sussexes team has maintained that the trip was a success. A source close to the couple told The Telegraph that they feel they have tested the playbook, and it worked. They believe this model could serve as a blueprint for the future. But the question everyone is asking is simple. If this is what success looks like, what would failure look like? Because from the outside, what people saw was a visit that blurred the lines between charity and commerce in ways that made many uncomfortable. A visit where the emotional weight of meeting massacre survivors was overshadowed by accusations of monetization. A visit where the most viral moment was a woman on a towel who could not be bothered to look up. And that sunbather? She has become a symbol, not of rudeness or disrespect, but of a broader indifference that seems to be growing around Harry and Meghan. In 2018, they were the most exciting thing to happen to the royal family in years. In 2026, they are the couple a random beachgoer did not bother to acknowledge. What do you think happened on that beach? Was Meghan wrong to have her outfit posted for sale? Should she have been more careful about optics at a massacre memorial site? And what does the Irwin family's decision tell us about where the Sussexes really stand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this breakdown helped you understand what really happened during that chaotic 24 hours, hit subscribe and share this with someone who needs to see the full picture. Because this story is not going away, and what happened at Bondi Beach might just be a preview of what is coming next.